You're watching CBS7 News at 9 on the CW and live on the CBS7 YouTube channel with Alexandra, Macia, and Tom Teeper-Teller.
Yeah, it should go down a little bit. Typically, fall is the time of year when gas prices fall.
If I could save myself from spending $30, I can't imagine.
We all know that opening up the fuel door is costing way too much, but now that summer is unofficially over, could gas prices be headed back down? Coming up on CBS7 News at 9, we hear from an industry expert about the price at the pump. Good evening. Thanks for joining us for CBS7 News on the CW, and thanks for joining us live on the CBS7 YouTube. I'm Alexandra, Macia, and we start tonight with some education news. The Ector County Independent School District Board voted at a special meeting tonight to join a lawsuit against the Texas Education Agency.
Happy and excited about new standards, higher standards. Glad that we're going to be held accountable. That's a good thing. But let us know the rules before the game begins.
Vote. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign.
The ECISD board voted 6-1 to enter litigation against the Texas Education Agency, challenging lack of transparency in the calculation of school districts' accountability ratings.
We started a school year and had a school year without knowing how we would be held accountable by the state of Texas, and that's an unfair advantage. The law requires that the agency release that information in advance.
ECISD is joining a number of districts across the state using the Thompson Horton firm as a group of interveners. The districts are asking a judge to block the A through F accountability ratings from being released at the end of September, saying the commissioner and TEA unlawfully changed the guidelines without giving districts adequate time to adjust.
Students that were most heavily affected in a negative way by what we're seeing are students of poverty. 67% of our students live in poverty. And so the majority of our kids are going to be negatively affected by this new system.
Last year, ECISD received a B rating. Their college career military readiness score is now a D.
40% of a school district grade is the college career military readiness score. And last year, a 60, when you achieved that score or higher, that was an A. Well, in the new system, the new A is 88. And so that singular change is now applied to a group of kids that already graduated.
Muri says the decline in their rating could be seen as confusing for parents due to recent high performance on the STAR testing. They still don't know all the TEA rules. And reading may seem like second nature to many, but for some, it's a struggle that diminishes their quality of life. It's an issue across the Permian Basin that leads some to seek social services like food banks. During Hunger Action Month, nonprofits are also taking a look at literacy. About 26% of adults in Midland County and 36% in Ector read at a second grade reading level or less. That's according to the Literacy Coalition of the Permian Basin. Struggling to read can limit career options, income, and ability to make good food choices. That's why it's important to tackle head on.
More people can read better, if more people are able to make more of a livable wage, if more people are able to move up at their jobs that they currently have, they're going to have more resources to not need the nonprofit community as much, which is a huge win for us.
Coalition staff say there's a certain stigma around low literacy. A parent may swallow pride and seek food help, but avoid admitting they are unable to read. Considering the data, it's likely that you have encountered someone today who has trouble reading. And it's time to take a look at weather. Chief Meteorologist Tom Teeper-Teller is here to tell us what we can expect. Tom.
Well, some changes are on the way, but we got to get through the triple digits for this week. Now, we actually did have some scattered showers across parts of West Texas this evening. A lot of that is moving off to the east and southeast as we are looking at scattered showers, thunderstorms nearing the San Angelo area, back down towards Barnhart, move through the Big Lake area, but not much rain being reported. But where you're seeing all these outflow boundaries, gusty winds are expected up to 40 miles an hour, and it looks like things are clearing out from Colorado City, where we had a severe thunderstorm warning a little bit earlier, and moving into the big country. The temperatures, well, that was the story. 106 degrees it was a record high for today, beating the old record of 102 set back in the 90s, I do believe. As you see, temperatures out there were extremely hot. We weren't the hottest, though, out at Midland International Air and Spaceport in Odessa. 107 in Wink and Presidio this afternoon. Currently, things are trying to cool off a little bit, still hanging on to the lower to mid 90s out there, close to 100 Monahans. I think Terlingua was just a hint cooler than this. That was the last report there of temperatures up to 107 degrees this afternoon. And not a lot of breeze. In the vicinity of some of those showers, we saw some gusts up to 20 to 30 miles an hour. That's really about it. You can see the triple digits are going to hang on. Next week, though, different story. Cold front arriving. We'll talk more about that here in a couple of minutes.
Thanks, Tom. Tracking crime now, Odessa Police has released the results of local law enforcement's No Refusal Weekend. This was a joint DWI operation that was held during Labor Day weekend. The operation was completed in cooperation with law enforcement agencies across Edgar County. It concluded with 31 DWI arrests, including 5 felony charges. In your oil and gas news, last week, the average price for gas in the Midland Odessa area was $3.39. Prices in the area are 2.4 cents per gallon lower than a month ago and stand 5.7 cents per gallon higher than a year ago. According to Gas Buddy Price Reports, the cheapest station in Midland and Odessa was priced at $3.18 a gallon yesterday, while the most expensive was $3.59 a gallon, a difference from 41 cents per gallon. Hopefully, with lower temperatures and less travel, demand for gas will go down, helping lower prices. There will also be a transition back to winter gasoline, which has more butane, which is cheaper, helping with a 10 to 20 cent decline. Unfortunately, though, we are in hurricane season, and if a hurricane comes through the Gulf of Mexico, it can affect the prices.
Keeping in mind that much of the nation's refining capacity and offshore oil drilling is in Louisiana and Texas, that could potentially cause prices to go up if there's a major hurricane that enters the Gulf of Mexico. Or if there are any other production surprises from OPEC.
Gas Buddy reported that last year's average for gas between October through Christmas was an average of 2.69 per gallon. If you thought you had a driver's license appointment tomorrow morning, you may want to think again. Texas DPS announced today that they're canceling all appointments Wednesday, September 6th between 7:30 and noon due to an outage in the driver's license system. It affects all driver's license services, including renewing or replacing your license. And in continuing coverage on a story we brought to you last year, Fix West Texas purchased a plot of land last October to make a permanent clinic, and almost a year later, they received $1.5 million from the FMH Foundation to be able to start that project. Fix West Texas's current clinic is about 5,000 square feet, but the new one is going to be double that, meaning that they'll have more space for vets, operation rooms, and adoption rooms. The 10,000 square foot facility will be located behind Mid-Cities Church on West County Road 77. Some of the new features would allow them to hire more veterinarians with 4 extra operation rooms. It will also allow them to offer more services to the community, and it will be something that will live on for a long time.
So we hope by having an actual building and not having to worry about rent and rent going up and down, that we'll have our own home. And this is something that our community will have forever.
This will also allow them to adopt more pets from local animal shelters and increase their adoptions program with the new adoption rooms. The FMH Foundation wasn't available for an interview, but said in a statement, quote, "We are delighted to be a partner with Fix West Texas on this project to allow the agency to continue to meet the growing need for services for dogs and cats in West Texas." A historic impeachment trial is now underway in Austin involving State Attorney General and Trump ally Ken Paxton. Laura Westbrook with our sister station KWTX has been in attendance for this trial, and she has the latest.
As the sun set here in Austin, Texas, so did the first day of the historic impeachment trial against suspended Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton. Everything got started around 9 this morning as Paxton was in the Senate chambers along with many of his supporters wearing red T-shirts, calling this a witch hunt, a political attack on the man that they've supported for years. But as opening statements got underway, there was a lot of contention there from the other side, saying that he handed his office, the keys of his office, over to a political ally. That political ally being Nate Paul, an Austin donor and a friend he's accused of bribing, a man who allegedly set him up with a mistress.
Mr. Paxton has been entrusted with great power. Unfortunately, rather than rise to the occasion, he has revealed his true character. And as the overwhelming evidence will show, he is not fit to be the Attorney General for the state of Texas.
When we are done, I believe that no matter your party affiliation, and no matter where you stand now, you will conclude what I have concluded, that there is nothing to this. This whole case is a whole lot of nothing.
Although Paxton did leave at lunch, and many people have some questions about that, he's not legally required to testify. Republicans do hold a 19-12 majority in the Senate. There is one person who cannot participate in that vote, and that would be his wife, Senator Angela Paxton, because of a conflict of interest. Now, earlier this morning, after things got started around 9 o'clock, the 12 Republicans joined all Senate Democrats in a vote to essentially move forward with a trial against Paxton. That includes Senator Brian Birdwell from the Central Texas area, along with 11 others. This is historic, the third impeachment trial in state history. A crowd of people showed up, but again, many of them were gone by lunchtime. Taking you back to when this all began, when Paxton took office in 2015, he'd been in the service of the state legislature for more than a decade. Shortly after, he was indicted on felony security charges, accused of duping investors in a tech startup. Then in 2020, Republican top aides, Paxton's top constituents, reported to the FBI that he was misusing the power of his office to help that Austin real estate developer, opening this investigation. In February of this year, Paxton agreed to settle the whistleblower lawsuit for $3.3 million of taxpayers' money, which required legislative approval. And then on May 27th, the 149-member Texas House of Representatives voted to impeach Paxton, leading to his suspension. Day one may be in the books, but this trial could last for weeks. Reporting in Austin, I'm Lauren Westbrook.
You can watch the impeachment trial live on our website, CBS7.com, and on our CBS7 News app. Still ahead, the manhunt intensifies for a convicted killer on the loose in Pennsylvania. The latest on the search when we come back to CBS7 News at 9. And several businesses have joined the Peanut Butter Brigade. You can donate peanut butter at any of these businesses in Midland and Odessa, including Grace and Hustle, Texas Roadhouse in Midland, Miss Casey's Wonderland, Advanced Electrolysis, Texas Sun Winery, Standard Structures at United and Market Street locations, and right here at the CBS7 in the Music City Mall. You can sign your business up for the brigade by emailing peanutbutter@cbs7.com. Outside Philadelphia, 2 school districts canceled classes today after an escaped killer was spotted last night. U.S. Marshals described the fugitive as desperate and dangerous, telling CBS News more than 250 officers from multiple law enforcement agencies are now part of the expanding round-the-clock search. We get the latest from CBS's Nikki Dementri.
These are the latest images of escaped killer Danilo Cavalcante captured by a trail camera overnight outside the search zone where police thought they had him trapped.
The photos confirm that Cavalcante has not changed his appearance, but also that he has obtained a backpack, a duffel sling-type pack, and a hooded sweatshirt.
Police were forced to widen their search perimeter today, which led to 2 school districts closing out of an abundance of caution.
Everyone's home today, but still, it's not what we chose to be.
Cavalcante is believed to be within 10 miles from the prison where he escaped last week. The police almost had him this weekend. He was spotted by a state trooper who gave chase, but ultimately lost him in the woods.
We had already requested and begun to mobilize resources from additional federal agencies last evening, to include the FBI and U.S. Customs and Border Patrol.
Cavalcante is serving a life sentence without parole for killing his ex-girlfriend in front of her 2 small children. He is the 2nd prisoner to escape from this prison this year. Cavalcante has been spotted multiple times since he escaped last Thursday. Police believe he hides during the day and moves around at night. This rattled community just wants this to be over.
That's the fear. As time goes on, he gets more and more desperate, so you never know what he's going to do.
Investigators are utilizing everything from night goggles and drones to helicopters and dogs in this manhunt. Nikki Dementri, CBS News, Kennett Square, Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania State Police say they know some of the homes in the search area had been empty with people out of town for the Labor Day holiday. They're asking anyone returning to search for anything strange or out of place around their home before going in.
Well, we are going to be looking at some changes coming up in our forecast. In the meantime, though, we got to deal with this heat. Record highs today. Could more of that be in the forecast? Well, we'll talk about it coming up next.
Now, from the CBS7 First Alert Weather Center, here's Chief Meteorologist Tom Teefertiller.
Well, as we take a look at the radar view once again, was a little active with scattered showers and thunder showers across parts of the eastern Permian Basin into the mountain areas. As you can see, everything is really starting to wind down right now as we are seeing most of the scattered showers and thunderstorms head down towards the San Angelo area here at 9 o'clock. Now, high temperatures today, again, record highs of up to 106. We only got down to 77 this morning. That was also a record maximum low temperature for the day. So it was a hot one all the way around. 106 in Odessa, 107 in Wink, Terlingua, Presidio this afternoon. And look at that, all the way up to 109 in Sweetwater. That's what helped blow up some of those showers and thunderstorms this afternoon. Live iCam in Big Spring, still a little bit of lightning showing up off to the east there with some of that scattered shower, thunder shower activity as temperatures have cooled off there to 86 degrees thanks to a little bit of rain and some pea-sized hail being reported a little bit earlier this evening, lower 90s across the Permian Basin. High pressure still in control of the weather. It's centered up down here across northern Mexico into the southwest U.S. It's not going to move too much until it gets bumped a little bit further off to the south and southwest with this trough of low pressure, and that's really not going to happen until later in the weekend, early part of next week. But as this thing swings through the plains, that's when we'll see a cold front through. And yes, changes are on the way with our temperatures and our rain chances. Today across the state of Texas, most of the stuff was with that broken line of showers and thunderstorms from Wichita Falls south into the big country, Concho Valley at the present time, as temperatures across the state, well, they have cooled off from the highs into the mid to lower 90s still across the Dallas-Fort Worth area and back across far west Texas. Now, the West Texas Futurecast showing everything should be gone early morning hours across the heart of Texas and the Concho Valley. We're going to see things pretty quiet across West Texas to wake up to in the morning hours tomorrow afternoon. An isolated shower, thunder shower, possible across the Permian Basin. Better bet's going to be down there towards the Edwards Plateau for tomorrow afternoon as another scorcher looks to be on the way. Cooling off a little bit into the mid-70s overnight tonight. Tomorrow about 101 to 102, so not quite as ridiculously hot as today. As we're going to see those temperatures again stay in triple-digit territory all the way through the rest of the week and the start of the weekend. So keep that in mind. Doing anything outdoors, limit your time outside. But then we see the transition this weekend. Get out of those triple digits, and then that front arrives by Tuesday, dropping temperatures quite a bit as we move in towards next week, and also increasing those rain chances, a few thunderstorms along ahead of that cold front and behind it for Tuesday into Wednesday next week.
Still ahead, COVID cases are on the rise in the U.S., and it's caused some schools to suspend in-person learning as the virus spreads. That's next in your health headlines on CBS7 News at 9. Just a few weeks into the new school year, several schools around the country suspended in-person learning due to a spread of COVID-19. Just a few weeks into the new school year, several schools have suspended the in-person learning. And the CDC data shows cases and hospitalizations are on the rise nationwide, though still far below the peaks of previous years. Now, with millions of students beginning their school year this week, medical experts are concerned the increases will continue.
Keep up with washing those hands with soap and water or hand sanitizer with at least 60% alcohol. And of course, if you're feeling sick, it's really best to stay home if at all possible. And indoors, proper ventilation actually makes a huge difference. So open those windows when you can and use air purifiers if you have them.
Doctors say the current tests and treatments are effective against the EG5 variant, the dominant strain making up more than 20% of projected cases. And still ahead, could you watch a baseball game that lasts 5 days? We'll tell you about the new world record for longest baseball game when we come back. The Endless Game Foundation broke the record for the longest marathon baseball game in history with 100 hours and 1 minute of nonstop action, and the two teams of 30 rotated in shifts. The foundation also had 50 scorekeepers and 75 umpires. Team Courage's 468 runs bested Team Strength's 307, but the event was a victory for everyone involved. I don't know, Tom, if I can make it through 5 days of baseball, but that's pretty awesome that they did.
That is quite a bit. I mean, I guess you take a nap and come back.
Yeah, there you go. All right, well, thanks for watching CBS 7 First Alert News at 9.